Hi, this is Analytical Chick. I wanted to talk more about that First Step Act. Well, one particular piece. So I covered Candace's timeline, and then I kind of started to bring the First Step Act into it. Now, I just want to talk a little bit of background information about federal prisons, because that's one of the things I didn't, one of the key issues here is this is a federal law, so this is related to federal prisons, not local prisons. So, watching these videos and seeing, people saying, no, this one goes to federal prison. No, 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 that's not true. So I decided to do a little bit of research, and I'm going to redo the research with you, kind of give you a feel for this. The question that it left me with was, who goes to a federal prison? And basically, what basically is the setup to a federal prison. So here we go. So for stuff like this, Wikipedia is fine. So I found that they have different separations of federal prisons. So penitentiary is medium, high, or max security. Most of these were high. I hovered a bunch of them. And you can see as I pick a medium, a high, that's a max. Come on. Hover them, they come up. Usually. High. High. So most of these were high. Some were medium, some were max. But basically everything in this category was medium, high, and max. Like I said, most were high. And then like a handful, like maybe 2 or 3 medium and 2 or 3 max here. But most of these are high. So I went through the whole list. Medium, medium, high, 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 high. As you can see, what I'm saying like high or medium, it's when the pop-up comes up, it shows the preview and it shows if it's high security, medium security, or maximum security. And then there's like one in there that's super max. I think it's this one. I don't know. One of them is considered super max. So on par with Alcatraz. So then this category, correctional institutes. So these are low and medium. So I'm not sure why, like if a medium up here is more hardcore than a medium down here. I'm guessing it is, but I have no official reason to think that. Just the fact of what else it's lumped in with. So then most of these were medium, I think. Like half and half. You see if I hover over them, you get a preview. Usually it says if it's medium or low. There's like 1 or 2 that have 2 prisons on a campus, and it's like one is low and one is medium. This means it's women's. This means it's women's and men's. And then otherwise it's men's. So if it has no little cross. So that's one thing where it could be a real issue. One of the items in the bill is that they want people to be 500 miles from their relatives if they or their relatives like try to sign up to be closer to their relatives. And there's not that many prisons that take women, federal prisons. So that can be a real issue for women inmates, which that's probably who they want more to be around their families. So then you have, so these are contracted and they're going to phase them out. So medium, minimum, doesn't say. Some of these don't say if they're what kind of security they are. A lot of them aren't saying. So the ones that did say were like medium and low. So the fact that they're phasing them out, then it's possible that this is not being pushed by these groups. As you see, this GEO group seems to own a lot of this stuff. And then Core Civic and Management Training Corp. So then there's the camps are like minimum, very, very low. And there's just a handful of them. So as you can see, like say a woman is deemed to get low security, there's only 2 of them for women. Like if a woman is deemed to get like very, very low. I think there was another one up in the top in the medium and low where there was like a camp included in a complex. But part of the problem with people being located close to their home is there may be all of these facilities, but as you can see, there's all these different purposes. You have everything from minimum, low, medium, high, and max. That's a lot of different classifications. And then you also have a limited number of these that have facilities for women. So a woman who needs to be put away. And then I pulled up a map at one point, and it had the prisons, and there was a big, let's see, there was a big gap in one of the lesser populated areas of the country, like, let's see, try to pull it up. Map, federal prisons. I should have pulled this up ahead of time. Sorry. I think no. Yeah, it's not a simple thing to just, oh, here it is, you know? I found it, but I don't. Maybe it's this one. Okay. But either way, this section of the country right here, where I have the cursor, that section had basically no prisons. I think this is just some prisons. This isn't all of the federal prisons. But I did find a map of all the federal prisons. And there were basically none in this section. So if somebody lived like here, it would basically be next to impossible for them to have a prison 500 miles or less from where they live, without, building new prisons. So that's one possible motivation that the government wants an excuse to build more prisons. So another thing I wanted to pull up, let's see, can you pull these up? they all pretty much have like notable inmates and what they went in for. Oh, good. This is good. This has a lot of them, so you can talk about. Now, this is a minimal security. So this person created a fire inside the congressional house, and they went down for trespassing, kidnapping. So this is minimal security. Someone convicted of kidnapping and conspiracy. Wife of a bank robber, killing the infant. This is minimal security. These are people that were put into minimal security. This is just a little, idea of what you're looking at for a federal prison. Espionage, propaganda. Some of these are from, like this from World War II. Let's see, propaganda, access Sally. So much for free speech. Maybe we didn't always have the free speech we think we always had. Leftist leader and co-founder of the ACLU. Oh, and they were actually imprisoned. Communists, corrupt public officials. These are not like small things. Mortgage fraud, possession of narcotics. Okay, so this is one of the few that's, would fit this idea of it maybe wasn't that big of a deal. Mortgage fraud. I think I covered that one. Fraud, identity theft. And this is what I saw a lot of for low and minimal security. Let's pull up another one. Oh, those were women. That might be why. This is another women's prison, like just a camp, which means it's below low security. It's minimum security. So these are going to be like your inmates who are going to be the most, these are supposed to be like the ones that are the most tame. Meth distribution, involved in Enron, hiring illegal aliens for county employees, and then using them to work in their home, and then stealing their earnings. That's minimal security. Charming. Let's take a look at a men's prison. Let's see what we got in Duluth, Minnesota. Oh, some notable inmates here. So this is tax, mail fraud and money laundering, smuggling wildlife and tax fraud, bank fraud. So for the lower level, you're finding a lot of like fraud and smuggling and that kind of thing. Now, let's see. Let's go to something medium security. Oh, this is just low security. Those were minimal security. This is low security. Let's see. So notable inmates. Some of the stuff that these notable inmates did. So samples of what people could be in for: tax evasion. So we're still getting, look, tax evasion, tax related. You're finding a lot of them from minimal and low. You're finding a lot of tax and fraud type. But like here, ran a human smuggling operation from 84 to 2000. That's only considered low. So let's get into, actually, let's look at one more that's low. Low security, all women. Look at medium. Let's do 2 more low security samples of what people could be in for. Okay. Bank robbery. And we're still in low security. Bank robbery. Perjury. White collar crimes. Attempting to assassinate a president. We're still in low security. Operating a prostitution ring. Money laundering. Terrorism. And arson. Murder. Still low security. Murder. Terrorism. Eco-terrorism. Yeah. Like I said, some stuff with like tax and money laundering. Wasn't there running a prostitution ring? Yeah, operating a prostitution ring. And we're still in low security. We haven't even moved up to medium yet. Low security. One more low security and then we're going to move up to medium. Gambino boss. Terrorism. Shooting people. Attempting to get into the CIA. Oh, in order to spy. Hate crime for an Amish guy? Wow. That one seems a little. Boss and political powerhouse for over 20 years. Corruption and various other charges. Racketeering, tax fraud, bribery, extortion, and conspiracy. We're still in low security. These are still considered low security type issues. Let's move on to see what we classify as medium. Now, mind you, we still have medium, high, and max. So we're like in the middle right now. Let's see, let's find something medium. Medium security, here we go. And this is going to be women. Low security. Low. Medium. So let's do some mediums here, and then we'll move up to mediums on the next rung. We'll actually get a feel for this medium. Yo. Low. Doesn't say. Medium. Alright, we'll pull up 4 mediums in the medium and low category. Let's see. We've got murder. We're in medium. Conspiracy to provide material support for terrorist organizations like, for ISIS. Sovereign citizen movement. Stockpiling bombs, handguns, and high-powered rifles during a standoff with authorities and tax evasion. Masterminding a conspiracy involving federal funds. See what else we've got with medium. Becky. Oh, Beckley. Oh, okay. I thought this said Berkeley. Murders. Murder. Oh, I remember this case. This was really. Oh, that's why. Because it's from Buffalo, and that's where I grew up. Like, why do I know this case? I know this case. see, money laundering and fraud. So we're still getting some of the low security stuff leaking into here, but we're starting to get like murders and stuff, and we're only on medium. Perjury and fraud. No examples. Notable inmates. Okay. Current. A leader of a jihad network and attended a terrorist training camp run by terrorist group Al-Aqsa-e-Taiba. See, and this isn't even ISIS. Everyone's always like, oh, ISIS isn't that big. Yeah, and how many other terrorist groups are there? This person is convicted of murder. Like mob boss. So racketeering, extortion, gambling, and other corruption. Sovereign citizen movement. And this is like this type terrorist. You know what? This came up before. Let's just tax protesters. Doesn't actually sound that bad. But stockpiling bombs and firearms, and that sounds kind of interesting. Let's see, former. Oh, this guy. Wow, I didn't even realize he was in here. This guy was in the discussion with Tommy Lahren and Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens retweeted him. He's supporting this First Step Act. And it turns out he himself is coming up as a former inmate but he was also the police commissioner. So you're thinking like, oh, police commissioner, oh yeah, he should be someone. But it turned out he did time himself in a federal prison. Wow, I didn't even know that before I hit record. It just came up while I was recording. Like I had pulled up some random correctional facilities and stuff and looked at them, but I hadn't come across him. If I did not connect that it was the same guy. But when I saw former NYPD commissioner, and then I looked over and I was like, wait a minute, I know that name, I know that. And I watched an interview from him. I didn't like what he said, but I couldn't really debunk it. I didn't like it. But now, I don't think I knew that he was in jail himself. So he's like coming off like, oh yes, I was a former NYPD commissioner. You have to believe me because I'm on that side. Except he's on the other side too, the side that stands to benefit from this First Step Act garbage. That in case you didn't see my little note on the last video, it went through. So I don't think it can be stopped. I think it's past the point where it can be stopped, unfortunately. But people still need to know, like, that it was really a bad bill and know, like, who's behind it and who's been supporting it. And kind of keep an eye on these people and really, so, okay, and then we have this Republican activist, lobbyist. So he went down for fraud and tax evasion, and he went into medium. That's probably persecution because he's a Republican. Because most of the tax fraud and tax evasion people went into low. So that's a little interesting that he went into medium. Having half a pound of meth, that doesn't sound like that much. A large amount of the drug, oh, I guess it is a lot. That doesn't sound like very much. I don't know. Minimum 10 years to life. He was released. Fraud. This seems like maybe a more, because these people have like more stuff that usually falls into low security. So maybe this is like the low end of medium or something. Or maybe they recently upgraded it or something. I don't know. Let's see. Fraud. Yeah, all of these people are pretty much like fraud and stuff. Except for like towards the top you have harder core. So medium security. Oh, satellite prison camp for minimum security as well. So that's why you have a lot of these people who are, like I said, you were seeing a lot of these that would normally fall under the low category, like tax fraud and stuff. Alright, let's move on. Let's look at medium. Wait, that was medium. Medium, under the medium, top, medium, high, and supermax. How are we doing on time? This is going to be a long video. I guess this is kind of one of those videos that I wouldn't really expect someone to watch the whole thing. Maybe skip through. Oh yeah, we're looking at 26 minutes already on this video. Alright, so I'm gonna look at medium in the top category, max. So let's get let's see. Just do find two mediums up here. Like I said, most of these are high. Here we go. Here's another medium. Alright, so this is medium in the higher category, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference. But let's see. Crime families, counterfeiting, mob boss, gangsters, crime family, crime smuggles and bootlegs of liquor, crime family, fraud, Ponzi scheme. Let's see. Industrial workers of the world. I believe that's a communist group. Interesting. Yeah, they ran for president under the Socialist Party, so yes, communist group. And they were they got out in 21. So they were put in, we don't put commies in prison anymore. They used to. I don't think they've done that since the 60s or even earlier. Espionage, mail fraud. We're still looking at like fraud, but some of these are like crime families. Oh, this is like a fraud type political. It says political figures, so they like put them in basically because they wanted to get them. Public officials, another police commissioner, and so this is another fraud. Tax evasions and kickbacks. Like so we're seeing a lot of white collar crimes from medium down. But like bank robber, fraud, drug dealer, but he was a baseball player. Like a crack dealer actually. Anonymous activist. There's a Steubenville in New York as well, I think. Hacking, or arranged for hacking. That's medium. These are medium in like the high category. Al-Qaeda operatives. Oh, so these are terrorists. Organized mob bosses, other tax Having sex with an inmate. Former corrections officer. Lovely. Inciting violence. Ear piracy. Hijacking a flight. Oh, lovely. So this is we're still looking at medium, and we're starting to get into some really like lovely individuals. We're looking at terrorists and murderers, though we are also still continuing to see fraud and white collar type cases. You know, a lot of tax evasions, especially if they are like the wrong politics. We saw a few Republicans who were nailed in to medium when they were only like fraud cases. Alright, now we're going to start to look at high. We're going to see what we get for high. I remember that the bottom bunch were high. So that'll be easy. And then we're going to go into max. Let's see. Alright, so here are 4 high security. Alright, so we've got high profile. Liberation Army. Robbery. I think that Asada. This is another. That Asada Shakur that was tied to. She escaped. She like shot a prisoner. She shot a cop and escaped to Cuba. And I know that Linda Sarsour like tweets out in support of her, and I believe she was also in the Black Liberation Army. Cuban 5. So this is like a communist spy network. Oh, but Obama let them off. How wonderful! Conspiracy to commit murder, espionage. How wonderful. And they shot down a plane of anti-communists. So they were commies. This is the leader of this commie group, Cuban 5. How about those wonderful people that are getting in through our vetting system? Former bodyguard of a Mexican drug lord. And this guy was convicted of murder and racketeering, killing tourists. And because he thought they were DEA. Kidnapping. Oh, suspected. They couldn't nail him for it. We're really getting into some lovely characters here. And we're only on high. We're still not even on max. Let's see. Murdering a federal official, robbery and fatal shooting. Leader of the Corona of Chicago Latin Kings. So we're getting a Latin Kings guy. Gang leaders. We're still on high. We're not even on max yet. And we're getting like, you know, and these people are going to be eligible for the First Step Act because, as John Miller pointed out, all prisoners, there's like a 2-page list of prisoners that you can pull out of this list, but mostly, like I said, like he said, all prisoners, so it's almost everyone. There's a handful that pull out, but there's a lot of really like dangerous crimes that, you know, they just left in. So, leader of a street gang in California. Let's see, others. Attorney who defended the Aryan Nation. And attempted murder for hire. And he tried to kill his wife and mother-in-law with a pipe bomb. Oh no, he paid someone to do it. Oh, that makes it so much better. That's convicted of using weapons of mass destruction and other charges for masterminding. Bombing of a courthouse. Trying to bomb a courthouse or trying to be behind bombing a courthouse. baseball player for the Mets and the Phillies. He had 25 misdemeanor and felony, grand theft auto, and identity theft. If you're a Major League Baseball player, don't you have enough money to buy your own car? Why do you need to? And yet he stole other people's cars. All right, filing false financial statements. Oh, there we go. He needed that because he was blowing his money on drugs, cocaine, and ecstasy. Wonderful. And hormones that I presume are illegal because otherwise I don't know why they'd be. And he pled down. It says right here. He pled down in exchange for dropping the drug charges. Lovely. So these are some lovely, lovely people. We're still on high security. We're not even on max yet. High profile. Pedophile. Raping. And then rape and murder and sexual assault. Still not on max security. We're still only on high. Former NYPD detective. Murdered and intelligence. Hanging out with the Gambinos. Oh, that pedo physician from the gymnastics. The girl who came forward for that was recently actually, what do you call it? She was honored, and it came out a little bit in the news, at least on my feed, because they had, what's her name? The crazy woman from September. Blasey Ford. They had the crazy woman, Blasey Ford, like, do a video introduction to the woman who won the award. And the woman who won the award was the one who came out against this Larry Nassar, who is right here in my list, and he's in high security, but he's a pedophile. He was like diddling on all these girl gymnasts. Let's see, Black Power activist convicted of murder. How wonderful. Political figures. So we have a former congressman who pled guilty to accepting bribes. It's really interesting to go through this. You know, all these things that, like, and you find all these, like, public officials and stuff. Mayor of Waterbury, Connecticut, who went down for forcing women to perform sex acts on him. That sounds like he made them give him blowjobs. Lieutenant Governor of the Mariana Islands. Fraud and bribery. Like I said, we're seeing a lot of fraud. A lot of white collar. We're seeing a lot of white collar crimes in the federal. We're seeing, you know, terrorism and white collar. And, like, crime and gangs and that kind of stuff. Child porn. Pedophiles. We're seeing some drugs, but not like, you know, not Tony with his dime bag, as John Miller put it, but, you know, like major drug dealers. Even in, like, medium and low security, I think we were seeing a little bit of that. Planning bombings, so, like, basically terrorist type, you know, drug kingpins. And he even pointed out, John Miller in his video even pointed out, that at one point it even says, even if it's your friendly neighborhood kingpin, drug kingpin, you know, they're still eligible for this First Step Act. So this guy who was executed back in 2001, now he'd probably be eligible to get time knocked off through the First Step Act. So we're really, like, taking steps backwards. It's the first step to step backwards. Way back. Way back. We're going backwards. Convicted of kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder. And we're still on people who go to high security. Death row. This is high security, but they actually do executions here, so that's why I guess it sounds like it's like a higher security. White supremacist convicted of hate crimes and firearms charges. Oh, Dylan Roof. Yeah. Sex offender, child molester, and rapist. Kidnapping and murder. Lovely individuals. And these people, under this new First Step Act, instead of being on death row, they would probably get time knocked off of a life sentence and, like, you know, get out in, like, 20 or something. 21 counts of murder. And he wasn't put on death row. This is probably, I wonder if this is 1986 hijacking of the Pan Am Flight 73 in Pakistan. Non-death row Al-Qaeda supporter. Terrorism. Masterminding a foiled plot to bomb JFK Airport. And he had 3 co-conspirators. We're still in high security. Examples of... Oh, there's none here. Alright, now we are going to go to the top one, which is the max. This is a max. Oops. This is max. High. Medium. Medium. Where were all the mediums when I was looking for them? High. Medium. High. High. So we're probably going to get some really juicy crimes when we get to max. There's one. I think there's one more max. I think this is the max. Okay, so we've got 2 max facilities. This is actually super max and the other one is regular max. So we'll do regular max first. So here's another example. They're saying that they want prisoners moved within 500 miles of their family members. So what if somebody is deemed to need to go to Supermax facility? There's only one of them in the entire country. So what are the odds that somebody is going to be from 500 miles away? This could be a problem. Are we supposed to put them in a low or a high or medium security prison just because they want to be near their family? Oh, there's no example cases here. Alright, so we do have notable inmates here. Alright. So, let's see, they're categorized. We've got foreign terrorists, we've got domestic terrorists, we've got double agents, cartel leaders, how wonderful! Organized crime figures like your gangbanger mob bosses, other crimes, black supremacy. So this guy, multiple prison escapes. And let's see. So it doesn't really say, 2 life sentences. Murder. So he'd probably normally be in a high security, but he's in a max because he keeps slipping out. 3 life sentences. Serial killer. A life sentence, convicted of conspiracy to murder a witness and other racketeering, cocaine, and prostitution charges. So that's, I mean, you expect that from like a max security, and these are the other crimes. So this is like gang bangers, organized crime fillers, front boss, Latin kings, Mexican mafia, Aryan Brotherhood, so like leader, founder, gangster disciples. And they're basically in for, like, extortion, money laundering. A lot of these people, like, if it doesn't have murder listed, they're probably in there because they know that they did murder, but they couldn't nail it for them. It's supposed to be really hard to nail somebody for murder. The drug trafficking and money laundering. But you gotta understand that, like I said, a lot of these people, there's more stuff that they pled down, or, you know, they know that they did it, but they couldn't nail it from, what's his name? Famous character. They couldn't nail him for being a mob boss. Al Capone. And he was taken down by the IRS. They took him down for, I think, for, like, fraud. Through the IRS, even though, like, they knew he did all of this other stuff, but they couldn't take him down on it because, like, the witnesses and stuff would disappear. And it's very hard to, you know, get beyond a reasonable doubt for these kinds of crimes. Let's see. Espionage. This guy was working with Cuba. CIA officer working with Russia. FBI. Soviet Union. China. They all seem to be working with communist countries. Domestic terrorists. But a lot of these include, like, you see, like, Al-Qaeda operative, Unabomber, Terry Nichols. Oh, that's the guy, he was a conspirator with Timothy McVeigh. I know this name a little bit. One of my roommates in college, the first time I went to college, I, like, withdrew and then, like, finished somewhere else, like, 10 years later. One of my roommates, the first time I went to college, she went to the same high school as Timothy McVeigh, and her brother, I think, was the same age as him. Al-Qaeda operative, Taliban, interesting. I don't know about y'all, but I'm finding this really interesting, even though I've already looked through these. It's very eye-opening when you see, like, these are considered domestic. Look at that name. That doesn't... And he was in the army. This is what we're doing. We're just like, oh, yeah, no problem. We trust it. Causing blackouts by damaging the power stations. Interesting. And he put cyanide in the Chicago subway system. Wonderful. Dr. Chaos. Doesn't say why he did it. Known by American citizen. Acts of terror. Chemical weapons. Why? Life. Didn't finish high school. Shocker! Oh, but he did GED. He called himself Dr. Chaos. Why did he do it? He recruited a bunch of teenagers over the internet. Arson. Disrupted broadcasts. Sold bootleg software. That's probably just how they made their money. Damaged ISP computer systems. But why? I mean, just cause? Or was there, like, a reason why? Like, was he a communist? Or did he, like, I don't I'm not seeing why. I'm just kind of skimming it though. Stems from an abnormal maturation. So he was just mental. Just like got off on like screwing up people's lives and scheduled for release. Oh, and I'll bet he'll get out even sooner with his wonderful First Step Act so that he can poison the tunnels in Chicago again. Tell me again how much they care about the people in places like Chicago. How wonderful. Not wonderful. So this is a long video. But it's interesting to look at all these different people and see the different types of crimes and how they categorize. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like my videos. I need a better like ratio. I hate to ask for it because I feel like, but everybody else does it and maybe you just need the reminder. Like my videos. Yeah, I should have said that at the beginning. Alright. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I will see you all next time.
People need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff. People need to be awake. People need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff.
And it's so politically engaged. And it's so politically engaged.